This K&N air intake system is designed to increase vehicle power and acceleration by reducing restriction in the intake path. The 57-3021-1 air intake has received a CARB-EO number and it is street legal in all 50 states. This air intake system fits 1999, 2000, 2001, 2002, 2003, and 2004 Chevrolet Silverado and GMC Sierra 1500 pickups with a 4.8-liter or 5.3-liter engine, in addition to other vehicles identified on the K&N website or catalog. K&N power testing showed an estimated power gain of 9 horsepower at 5,352 RPM with this air intake installed on a 2000 Chevrolet Silverado 1500 with a 5.3-liter engine. Actual results will vary depending on condition of the vehicle, mileage, weather, and other variables. The air intake installed, we ran the vehicle on the dyno to test the sound comparison versus the stock intake. The intake kit includes components that have been designed or matched to the needs of these vehicles to produce a safe horsepower increase. Detailed installation instructions are included with this kit. The tools needed for this install are shown. Turn the ignition off and disconnect the vehicle's negative battery cable. Disconnect the mass air sensor electrical connection. Loosen the hose clamp on the intake hose at the mass air sensor. Loosen the hose clamp on the intake tube at the throttle body. Using a flat blade screwdriver, pry the radiator hose retaining clip from the intake tube. Detach the intake hose from the mass air sensor. Detach the intake tube from the throttle body and remove the intake assembly. Pull firmly upward and remove the airbox. Loosen the hose clamp and remove the mass air sensor from the airbox. Assemble the mass air sensor, heat shield, and adapter using the gasket and hardware provided. Install the trim seal onto the heat shield. Some cutting and trimming may be necessary to achieve best fit. Attach the rubber-mounted stud to the C bracket, but do not tighten completely at this time. Attach the C bracket assembly to the heat shield, but do not tighten completely at this time. Attach the rubber-mounted stud to the L bracket, but do not tighten completely at this time. Attach the L bracket assembly to the heat shield, but do not tighten completely at this time. Loosen and remove the 2 bolts on the airbox mounting tray. Install the rubber-mounted stud into the threaded hole in the airbox mounting tray. Install the heat shield assembly. Secure the C bracket to the threaded hole in the airbox mounting tray using a bolt removed in step 16. Secure the L bracket to the threaded hole in the radiator core support using the hardware provided. Secure the heat shield to the rubber-mounted stud using the hardware provided. Install the 4-inch inside diameter silicone hose onto the intake tube, but do not tighten completely at this time. Install the 3.75-inch inside diameter silicone hose onto the intake tube, but do not tighten completely at this time. Install the intake tube and tighten the hose clamp on the silicone hose at the throttle body. Align the intake tube with the mass air sensor and tighten the hose clamp on the silicone hose at the mass air sensor. Align and check the intake tube for clearance, then tighten the hose clamp on the silicone hose at the intake tube. Tighten the hose clamp on the silicone hose at the intake tube. Go back and tighten the hardware that mounts the brackets and heat shield. Due to production tolerances, it may be necessary to mark the fan shroud as indicated. Remove the intake tube and trim the fan shroud. Install the air filter element and secure with a hose clamp. Reconnect the mass air sensor electrical connector. Reconnect the vehicle's negative battery cable. Double check to make sure everything is tight and properly positioned before starting the vehicle. The included CARB exemption sticker must be visible under the hood so that an emissions inspector can see it when the vehicle is required to be tested for emissions. It will be necessary for all K&N high-flow air intake systems to be checked periodically for realignment, clearance, and tightening of all connections. Failure to follow the above instructions or proper maintenance may void warranty. K&N makes products for nearly every vehicle on the road. The K&N website allows you to search products by vehicle or dimension, download installation instructions, view dyno charts showing estimated horsepower gains for this product, and view product details. For information on where to buy K&N products, go to knfilters.com.